All right, so get this today. We're diving into this real-time Forex mystery.
Using something called a currency strength snapshot.
Okay.
Basically, it's like a live ranking of which global currencies are, on top, which are, not having such a good day.
Yeah.
And the snapshot we're looking at...
taken right in the middle of the Tokyo-London trading session.
Okay.
September 30th, 2024.
Has some seriously surprising results.
We're talking the New Zealand dollar acting like a heavyweight champ.
Even outperforming the US dollar. What is going on there?
This MWLRCT currency strength snapshot, it gives us a fascinating look at these hidden forces at play.
In the global currency market.
Yeah.
Traders, they live and breathe this kind of data.
Right.
Because it reveals potential opportunities.
To, buy or sell currency pairs based on those real-time strength differences.
Okay, so for those who haven't gotten lost in the world of pips and spreads.
Can you walk us through what those currency strength values actually represent?
Sure.
Like, what does it mean?
If a currency has a big plus sign versus a big minus sign.
Think of it as like a measure of a currency's buying power.
Okay.
At that particular moment.
A higher positive value means a currency is strong.
It's like the popular kid in school that everyone wants to hang out with.
Right.
On the other hand, a negative value
indicates weakness.
Potentially signaling a dip in investor confidence.
So in our September 30th snapshot, the New Zealand dollar is sitting pretty with a plus 106.96.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the US dollar is all the way down at negative 116.48.
That's a difference of over 200 points.
Talk about a power move.
It is a significant difference.
Yeah.
It suggests a potential shift.
In global sentiment, possibly driven by factors we'll need to unpack.
Okay.
As we look closer at the relationships
between these currencies on this particular day.
This is where it gets really interesting, right?
Right.
Because it's not just about individual currencies.
But how they stack up against each other in these pairs.
Exactly.
Those strength differences are key.
For Forex traders looking to capitalize.
On the constant ebb and flow of the currency market,
right?
They use these snapshots to identify what we call
bullish and bearish signals.
Okay, break it down for us.
What are we looking for here?
Essentially, large discrepancies in those strength values between two currencies.
Represent potential trading opportunities.
Yeah. A bullish signal, meaning a trader might buy that currency pair, occurs when one currency has a high positive value.
And the other has a low negative value.
So a big plus and a big minus.
Are basically like a green light.
Potentially signaling a good time to trade.
You could say that.
Now, on the flip side,
if two currencies are relatively close in strength, it's less exciting from a trader's perspective.
The potential for profit is lower.
Got it.
So in our snapshot, the NZD and USD are sending a very strong signal.
Just in opposite directions?
Absolutely.
And those aren't the only interesting pairs on September 30th.
Right.
The Japanese yen is also coming in strong.
Okay.
With a plus 91.37.
Putting it nearly on par with the New Zealand dollar.
Wow, so much for the US dollar being the king of the castle on that particular day.
This snapshot really flips the script on what we might expect.
It certainly did.
And that unpredictability is what makes the currency market
both fascinating and challenging.
It's like a global game of currency chess.
With each player trying to outmaneuver the other.
That's a great analogy.
And just like in chess, understanding the current state of play is only half the battle.
The real skill lies in anticipating your opponent's next move.
So how do we use this snapshot?
To understand not just what happened on September 30th,
but what those currency movements might mean for the future.
Well, let's start by taking a closer look at some of those key currency pairs.
Okay.
Starting with the NZDUSD.
A difference of plus 223.44.
Deserves a deeper dive to understand why the New Zealand dollar
was so strong against the US dollar that day.
Let's do it. We have a lot to unpack.
Okay, so the NZDUSD pair is practically flashing on this snapshot with a difference of plus 223.44.
Right.
That suggests like something significant was happening between those two currencies.
Yeah.
What could be driving such a strong bullish signal for the New Zealand dollar?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
Remember, currency markets are influenced by this.
Complex web of factors.
Yeah.
Economic indicators, political events, even global commodity prices.
So plus 223.44 difference.
It tells us the NZD was in high demand compared to the USD.
Right.
But it doesn't really reveal exactly why.
Yeah.
It's like seeing the effect, but we don't know the cause.
Precisely.
We need to dig deeper into like the news and economic data from that day to understand the potential drivers. Well, there's some positive economic news out of New Zealand.
Perhaps strong export data or maybe like a rise in interest rates.
That made the NZD more attractive to investors.
It's like putting together a puzzle.
Looking for clues to explain those market movements.
Exactly.
And sometimes those clues can be found in unexpected places.
Right.
For example, if New Zealand is like a major exporter.
A commodity that saw a sudden surge in price on that day.
Right.
That could also impact the strength of its currency.
That's fascinating.
It's a reminder that like everything is connected in the global economy. Now, speaking of big moves.
We can't ignore the USDJPY pair.
Right.
A negative 207.85 difference.
That's a glaring bearish signal.
Yeah.
What might have been weighing down the US dollar against the Japanese yen.
Again, multiple factors could be at play.
Perhaps there were concerns about the U.S. economy, causing investors to seek safer havens, like the Japanese yen.
Okay.
Or it could be related to like
interest rate differentials between the two countries.
Yeah.
With the yen offering a more favorable return at that time.
So a trader seeing that negative 200.85 signal
might have been tempted to sell the USDJPY pair, betting that the US dollar would continue to weaken against the yen.
Exactly.
So remember, past performance is never a guarantee of future results.
Right.
That's the inherent risk and excitement of Forex trading.
It's like trying to read the tea leaves
of the global economy.
Right.
Always looking for clues about what might happen next.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the NZDUSD and USDJPY pairs.
Showing us these like dramatic swings in opposite directions.
What other pairs were making waves on September 30th?
Well, the NZD CAD pair is also flashing a bullish signal.
With a plus 182.87 difference.
This suggests that, you know, in addition to its strength against the US dollar, the New Zealand dollar was also performing well against the Canadian dollar.
It's interesting to see the New Zealand dollar
consistently coming out on top in these pairs.
Yeah.
It really highlights how quickly things can change in the currency market.
A currency that's strong one day might not be the next.
Absolutely.
That's why traders are constantly monitoring economic data, news events.
And yes, even social media sentiment.
To try to stay ahead of the curve.
It sounds like you need nerves of steel to be a Forex trader.
What about the IUD-USD pair at plus 174.68?
What might that be telling us?
The Australian dollar's strength against the US dollar, much like the New Zealand dollar,
could be influenced by a number of factors, including Australia's own economic performance, commodity prices.
Particularly given Australia's role as a major exporter of raw materials, and even its close trading relationship with China.
It's fascinating how these currency movements
offer a glimpse into the interconnectedness of the global economy. We can start to piece together a story
about what might have been happening on that specific day, even if we don't have all the details.
That's the beauty of analyzing these snapshots.
It's like being a financial detective, looking for clues and connecting the dots.
To understand the forces shaping the global marketplace.
Okay, so we've decoded the snapshot.
Identified the key players.
And even started to speculate about the why behind those moves. But let's bring this back down to earth for a moment. How do these currency fluctuations impact the average person?
Who isn't necessarily buying and selling currencies for a living?
That's a great question.
It's easy to get caught up in the technicalities of Forex.
But the reality is currency movements affect us all.
Give us the So how does a strong New Zealand dollar or like a weakening US dollar
actually play out in the real world?
Give us some concrete examples.
Let's say you're planning that trip to New Zealand and the exchange rate is in your favor.
Your money might go further, allowing you to enjoy more of what the country have to offer.
On the flip side,
a strong New Zealand dollar could make those Kiwi exports pricier.
So that beautiful merino wool sweater
you've had your eye on might suddenly be outside your budget.
Exactly.
And it's not just about consumer goods. A country with a weaker currency might see an increase in tourism.
As it becomes a more affordable destination. Businesses could also benefit
from increased demand for their exports.
As they become more competitively priced.
But it's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
Because those businesses that rely on imported materials
might face higher costs. Which could then get passed on to consumers.
It's a complex web of interconnected impacts.
A shift in currency value can ripple through an entire economy.
Wow.
Influencing everything from like the price of your morning coffee to the interest rates on your mortgage.
It makes you realize that even if you're not actively trading currencies,
those exchange rates are still playing a role in your life. Often in subtle ways we don't even realize.
Exactly.
Understanding these dynamics can give you a deeper appreciation
for how the global economy functions and how interconnected we all are.
It's been an eye-opening look behind the curtain of the currency market.
Who knew a single snapshot could spark so many questions and insights?
And that's just a glimpse into the world of Forex.
Imagine tracking these currency movements over time.
Yeah.
Observing the trends and connecting the dots to broader economic events.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for the global marketplace.
In a way, it is.
While we haven't given any financial advice today, remember, folks, this is for informational purposes only.
Right.
Hopefully, you've gained a newfound understanding
of the forces shaping the global currency landscape and how they might impact your life.
Absolutely.
So the next time you see those currency exchange rates flashing by,
take a moment to consider the stories they might be telling.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
And as always, keep diving deep.